Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Risha and today we are going to be getting into my last makeup look of 2023, a reflective chat about 2023, about hopes and desires and intentions for 2024. And so I just hope that it helps to encourage you, inspire you, help to set the mood for this new year. Also, if not anything else, to get inspired about some makeup. Let's get into things. Of course, as always, I have everything linked below in the description box, so let's get into it. Alright, so we are going to be doing things a little different today. I'm going to be doing makeup, talking to you guys. This is my last makeup video of 2023. I actually didn't end up uploading as much as I planned to, but 2024, we're gearing up for changing some things here on my channel. And so I can't wait to use this as the kicker, the start of everything. It's Saturday, December 30th. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve and I just want to get the new year vibes already going now. Really been centering good energy, and so I wanted to share that with you guys. So I did do my brows off camera, and then I applied I really want skin like makeup. I'm not really looking for a full beat. I'm really milk. I've been wanting to try, so I actually wanted to try this as a refresher spray. So I wanted to give this Milk product a try. This is their Milk Hydro Grip Set Refresh Spray. And I'm actually going to use it for skin prep, and I'm going to see how it does. I was thinking about picking up the Tower 28 or the Cardio one from Sephora, but I have a full bottle of this. So I was like, why not see if this can give me the effect I'm looking for, since I do love their primer. So we're gonna do things a little natural today. So I'm gonna just go ahead and spray, just focus on the center of my face. Okay, let it dry down. So yeah, so we'll put that to the side as well. So yeah, this isn't too bad. Milk Hydro Grip Set. It feels nice. I'm not really smelling any weird smells from it, and so far so good. Literally, it's my first time using it. And then the other goodies I'll be getting into today is this Giorgio Armani Beauty sent me over a bunch of products, and for a full face, I don't want for anything to fall out. So I'm literally going to be dipping into this box and grabbing a few of their products out. I did do a look earlier this week and I loved it. I loved it so much. There's a couple things I want to add to the look just to be able to see what more I could give with the whole face. So we'll be using mainly Armani Beauty products, and then of course I'll talk about the others as I pick them up as well. And yeah, so let's get going. So first up is the Luminous Silk Foundation. This is Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. And then I am shade 11. So this is like a perfect color match for me. I'll show you guys. This again, so I'm just gonna go in with the brush and pat and get to talking. So 2023 for me wasn't a bad year at all. I wouldn't even call it a character development year, because 2022 felt like that for me. 2023 kind of felt like I was finally getting my footing again, because I spent most of 2022 really sad, and it wasn't even one set situation. It just was like complacency. I was in a job that I really hated at the time, really feeling as though I didn't recognize myself the way I looked. I put on quite a bit of weight at that time. So 2022 was just weird. It was just a really weird year for me, and so I feel like I had a hard time showing up because I just didn't know who I was during that space. I don't know if anybody else can relate to when you're going through a hard time or difficult time, can't really put your finger on exactly what it is, and then just like wanting to go inward. And that's what I do. I deal with stuff in private. I'm not the type to have like constant conversation with any family members, loved ones, nothing like that. I go really, really in. I am married, so my husband knew and was helping me through that, but there's only so much another person can do for you to feel better about you. You know what I mean? There's a certain part where I was like, okay, now I just have to take accountability and responsibility. So 2023 for me was that year of like, okay, Risha, let's step up. Let's take care of ourselves. Like, enough's enough. I really believe that when you're ready to grow, when you're ready to evolve, when you're ready to step into that next era of being your best self, there is nothing anyone, any person, anything can do to get in the way that you're gonna make it happen. I don't know, I feel like that's a hot take, because I know some people believe that there's external things that can play a factor, but if you're like me, you get it. The girls that get it. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm not feeling right, there's nothing externally or a person or a situation that can make me just snap into it. That's not gonna happen. It has to come from me. And so 2023 was like new eyes. I was here, before I start talking some more, let me talk about products in between. So this is a Giorgio Armani Fluid Sheer, and I wonder if this has a color. This is in Fluid Sheer shade 10, and this is their glow enhancer, and it's gorgeous. A little bit goes a long way, so I'm gonna just dab that same foundation brush into it, and then I'm gonna just take strokes downwards into my preferred highlight areas, so onto the high points of my cheekbones, and then onto the bridge of my nose. And I have my mirrors here, that's why I'm looking over to the side. So I'm just gonna make sure I bounce that into the skin. And I just love how subtle it is. Actually, let me get a paper towel. And so yeah, so anyways, 2023 was definitely that year where I was ready to take accountability, responsibility for my life, the way my life looked, the things that I wanted in my life that were not happening at that time. Took accountability for a lot of stuff. I was just ready to be responsible for me again, for my happiness, for moving forward with certain areas, letting go of different things. It was my year of becoming in a lot of ways. I made peace with the old me that I think 2022 showed me so desperately. I was trying to hang on to who I was before, and everything about it was so uncomfortable. It was like, it's almost like if you have like a favorite meal that's a guaranteed favorite every single time, it's a hit, 10 out of 10. And then you have this meal again and it's disgusting. Like, it's gross, something's off, it's weird. Like, it's like, is there a new cook? What's going on? That's what 2022 felt like for me. So coming in 2023 was like, let's make peace with the fact that we no longer have the same taste. You know, what does this mean for moving forward into the future for Risha? And yeah, that was 2023. I also really believe, let me do some concealer and then I'll finish talking. So, I talk about every product. This is Makeup by Mario concealer, and this one is in 460, and I've actually been meaning to get a lighter shade because this is very close to my complexion, but nevertheless I feel like it'll work for the little added look that I'm going for, because the concealer that Giorgio Armani sent me is more of like my brightening shade, and it's shade 8 in their Luminous Silk Concealer. And so I'm going to use this one in my brightening area, so right here, on the bridge. And then I'm going to focus Makeup by Mario here and then down here. So let me just put that on so that I can finish talking to you guys. The other thing with this kit that they sent me over, they didn't include a bronzer or contour, so I'm going to be using two from my stash. This is my Old Faithful. I love this foundation stick. This is Bobbi Brown and Espresso, and I've had this same stick for over a year now. This has been well over a year, and look how much product is still left. Like, look at, oh my gosh, come on. Ugh, such a good cost for value, for sure, hands down. I do want to go pick up a new contour stick, so I do have a few in mind, so maybe I'll do like a what's new in my makeup type of video when I go and do Sephora and Ulta run. I do plan on doing that like at the start of the new year. I was gonna say this week, but new year, new me, you'll be seeing that. And then I'm also gonna be using the Benefit Hoola Toasted powder for a bronze. And as you know, contour and bronze are different, so I really like to contour more specifically on my cheek areas, sometimes on my nose. We'll see where I fall with that today. And then for just to warm up my skin, I love to use a bronzer, because that's what it's for. It's literally, it's not for contouring, it is to just add warmth and add some dimension into places that maybe became one dimension. Makes your face just look super even, and I like to have like natural elements of like shadow effects on my face. So I'll be using both of these. So let's see, I think I'll use my House Labs. This is my House Labs concealer brush. And I'll start blending and then talking to you guys some, I'll be blending and then talking some more. I think the other thing too that gave me like a lot of peace in this process for 2023 was the fact that accepting that my journey was just that it was my journey. And I think sometimes, especially now with like social media, it's easy to do subtle comparisons. You're just like, wow, this person looks like they've just been able to just snap back, snap completely out of it. Like, I mean, the level up is real. I want that so much for myself, but I'm really not seeing it, and wanting so badly to be in a different space, but knowing that like you can't force your growth. Like, I can't be somebody else, I can only be me. And there's certain steps that if I was to force my growth or force the appearance of my growth, that I would internally be lacking and suffering in the long run, you know? So just taking the road less traveled, and it's like knowing that it's non-linear. There were some days where I felt incredible. Like, it just felt like new year, new me. 2023 was just like, And there were some days where I felt like I was sliding, and I felt all the same feelings that I did the year prior. And so I just think that like really being mindful of the fact that growth is not linear whatsoever, and giving yourself grace during this time to say like, I don't want a quick fix. I want something that's real and something that'll last. And I just feel like it made me that much more happy to be ending this year. Oh God, I was about to get emotional, but it makes it that much more happier to end this year, because I know that it was real. Like, I'm able to look back and be like, oh my God, I don't even recognize her anymore, like who I was then. And that is an amazing feeling. For anybody who's on the road of discovery and figuring things out for themselves, you know how important it is to be able to look at moments and say like, wow, like we did that. So to be able to look back and be like, I did that, man, it's the best. Okay, so I'm gonna do just a pinch more of the Giorgio Armani, because I really want it to be bright. Okay, and then while that dries down some, we are going to contour. And since I'm talking and I'm vibing with it, I'll do full or mid-level contour. One more thing about 2023 before we start discussing like all that I'm excited for 2024 is mindful media consumption. I feel like right now we are more social but detached than ever before. It's almost like you're watching things constantly through the filter and editing of people's lives. And so I really made a true effort this year to practice mindful media consumption, which was basically everything that I consumed was super intentional and super growth, healing, self-discovery focused, inspired content, self-development content, things of that sort, just watching women and men improve themselves, work on themselves, and deal within like the light, positivity and stuff. And I just feel like starting my mornings with that sort of content, ending my days with that sort of content, finding creators who really evolve their work around that as well, just put me into a headspace that I know had such a great impact on the way that I'm finishing my year. So I really feel like I began to be way more sensitive with the content from individuals who did not do that. Like I can't, there's certain type of content creators, I get it, get your bag, but it was beyond like cringy for me. It was uncomfortable to watch. Like, and I'm not at all trying to judge, because everybody, you know, has their own process. I'm not judging that at all, but I just knew that for me, and seeing it that way after growth and listening to certain other type of content and things, and watching how, or being intentionally mindful about the things that I was consuming, that watching anything that was below that or negative content, well, it's me, sad type vibes, like very low vibrational, I felt the impact of it in consuming that. So it's like, okay, this is obviously something that had an impact on me, whether or not I want to accept that or not. Even down to like music, podcasts, like I was not playing around. Conversations that were frustrating or redundant. You know, like there's certain things where it's like I don't even engage on that level no more. Now that does not mean that I'm not informed, socially aware, understanding at least a grasp of the political climate. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like, you know what I mean? Like it's the lower vibrational type content stuff, the stuff that feels like eek. The stuff that gives you the ick is what I'm basically saying. I stayed away from everything that felt icky. Everything that felt like eek. And I plan to continue to do that. I don't think I'm going to be going back, just because I've noticed such a difference with my own personal perspective and the way I hold myself accountable, even in conversations with others who aren't practicing in the same way that I am. I feel like I'm able to bring in a certain type of energy of like, let's keep it on a higher vibration, and that I feel like has been a benefit. So mindful media consumption, 10 out of 10 recommend. To start doing like an audit, like a self audit of what you're consuming now, who are you following now, who are you looking at now, who are you listening to, what music are you listening to, what are you things are you playing, like what is your mind, your subconscious mind consuming that you would like to remove from your life to be able to be the best version of yourself in 2024. So I encourage everybody to do it. And everybody's audits can look different. A lot of girls do it based on their faith practices or goal orientation. Like wherever you find yourself, I just feel like it's best to align yourself with the materials, individuals, conversations, the happenings that bring that type of energy forward. Going into 2024, some of the biggest reflections that I'm having right now that I've really enjoyed and want to take further into this new year is trusting my gut and not allowing myself to self-correct, mainly self-correct, like to stop. It's almost like when I would get ideas and I'd be like, oh wow, I can definitely do this, like, ooh, I haven't seen this done, like I know that this is lacking, I'm able to do this, this is not something that's difficult for me. And then my first mind is like, do it without question. I'm like, do it. And my second thought will be like, oh, well, not yet because of blank, or what about blank, or what about this? And just those thoughts alone, for me, for other people that like push her and like whatever, I'll be like, okay, I'll just not do it. I'll not do it. I'll skip out on this. And I feel like all those times that I did that to myself this past year has absolutely gotten in the way of the possibility of seeing even more from this year. And so I really, really, really want to focus in on leaning into those gut feelings, not giving myself enough space to pause when it comes to decisions or things that scare me a little bit or outside of my usual norm, just to see like what I'm able to do. you know, like really trusting myself in that. Sorry, I can't really talk while I do this. And then halfway through, as I'm blending, I stop and I'm gonna just blend some more of the concealer and go back in. Now, if you are not a fine line under eye girly, you could literally leave this as is, because the Makeup by Mario does self set, and the Giorgio concealer is super flawless, but I know my under eyes and she will not trick me. She needs to be set. I need setting butter. So this one that I'm going in with is my all-time fave. This is the One Size in Sweet Honey. I just feel like it's a makeup lover's must-have for just that super flawless filter-like finish. It's my favorite. So I'm gonna go in first with this, and I'm not really gonna bake with it. I'm just gonna use it to press into the skin. You guys know I alternate between a beauty blender or a triangle sponge. Beauty blender is just as closer. I don't know where the triangle sponge is, and I just took out a new one, and I don't plan on taking out another new one until I find that other one. So I'm gonna press this into the skin. And then remember the rule: if it's wet, please set. So anywhere where you apply product, just go ahead and set that with this. Alright, so we set all that, and because I cannot help myself, I really want to use the Easy Bake as well. And then I think, yeah, okay, so we'll use the Easy Bake, and I'm just going to center this Easy Bake directly under my eyes. I'm not going to go around my whole skin with it, so I'm going to just do that. This is a Huda Beauty Easy Bake in Cinnamon Bun, and I just feel like this formula is so good. It has replaced my Maybelline, so I'm just going to follow that up with this. Okay, the complexion is complexioning, loving it. Okay, so now we are going to go in and liven things up a bit. I'm going to be using a couple of skin products, and I'll do eyes last, so then I can just like talk as I do these ones. So I also feel like this year for me, I'm going in right now with the Huda Beauty. This is the bronzer Hula Toasted. But I do feel like even with all this said about like next year and all these goals and the things that I have in mind, I really believe in doing the actions, right? So taking the steps and then sitting back and watching it grow. Like taking a step back. I feel like sometimes when you're so close up on something and it's grind, head down, that you miss other little things. And so I like to do almost like sprint cycles with my goals, where I have like a very focused amount of time where I'm just like really getting to it, and I'll have a set goal during that time, and then after I hit that set goal, even if I could do a little bit more, depends on what it's like, because if I finish early then I'll do a little bit more, but if I'm right on time with where I had set for that goal, I'll give myself a minute meaning like days. Sometimes it's been like weeks, and I'm able to just woosah rest in it and accept that like this was done. Because I feel like sometimes, especially if you're super goal oriented like myself, like you get so caught up in the process of it all that like you're forgetting to enjoy it, you know? Like it's always like what's next. And well, I think some people can thrive on that type of energy. I just don't think it's sustainable, one, or healthy. I just don't. And I do feel like sometimes too, even for your relationships with other folks around you, can suffer, because the priority always is getting to what's next, getting to the bag. Oh, let me get this done, you know. And I feel like if that's always your vibe, it kind of makes you a person who's kind of hard to be around or to function outside of that, because who are you? You know, like who are you offline? Who are you as a person? Who are you one-on-one? If we're talking and money's not on the discussion for anything we're discussing, like what do you have to bring to the conversation? And I feel like that's why it's important to take breaks, to self-collect, to have a hobby that does not generate any income, no real work is required. It's something you do for fun. Like, how do you disconnect? So I think for this year, for me, I really want to continue to center that. And because I want to be able to center that so much more, I do feel like my sprint cycles, this year I lacked a little bit more with like really clear boundaries with loved ones and being a little too available during my sprint cycles. And so even when I'm having so when I'd have a down season where I'm like, okay, I kind of have more time on my hands, I'm gonna now with the Armani Beauty blush in 61. This is their Luminous Silk Glow Blush. But even when I was having this type of thing happen with family, right, where I live on a different coast than my family, and so like when I'd have down seasons and stuff, there's an uptick of conversation. I'm answering my phone, I'm, hey, what's up, we're talking it up, like I'm not, no limits, right? And so I think that during that time I indulged so much where when I did try to express certain type of new boundaries that I had as entering into a season of uptick where I really had goals that I wanted to get to, my sprint cycle was starting up again, that sometimes the way that it was taken in by family was through hurt or neglect or feeling as, okay, well, what's different? And so I know I need to get better about balancing the two, like being able to show up, but also being able to be like, when I can't, and honoring that for myself as well. So that's the blush. I feel like it gave a really nice warm glow. And this is kind of like the type of blush where I feel like you could accidentally, let me do just a little dab more. So I feel like it's pink, but I feel like we can make it like even more pink. What do you think? I like it. Okay, so that's for blush, and this is gorgeous, super pretty pink. I don't know if I showed it to the camera, but this is their shade 61. I'm gonna focus in. So that's shade 61. Ah, that's so pretty. I love a pink rosy blush. So next we are going to do, they sent me over their Luminous Silk highlighter, and I don't think it has a shade, it's just numbers. I'll link everything below too. But this is their highlighter. And I'm gonna just take like one of my lighter brushes. And this set's actually from Amazon, this set that I've been using. So I think it was like only $25 for the whole thing. I'm just gonna go over and I'm gonna just like sweep it over my face. Are we glowing? It'd be so hard to tell because I have way less lights on today. So let me know if you like the vibe. I really like this type of setting because it feels more natural, more like we're in conversation with one another, more inviting. And so I'm thinking I'm gonna keep toning it down this way instead of super bright lights. So let me know what you think about the lighting this time around. But sitting in front of any light, to be honest with you, throws me off with like being able to see what the look is. Like, is it giving enough? Then I'm gonna take just a little dab. You see me? So a little dab, and I'm gonna just go into my brow bone. I feel like that's pretty. I'm gonna clean my nose jewelry, and then we'll get on to lips. But yeah, all in all, the main, the completion of my thought that I started was just that like of boundaries and expressing to loved ones, you know, like those who get in, those who want to be a part of your life are gonna understand it and accept the fact that like you're moving into a different direction or your time looks different. And I think as long as like you do it in love, like there shouldn't be issues. I do think that there's certain personality types that are in constant resistance with change, with evolution, and with things and with people like that. Sometimes those relationships dissolve, and there's certain individuals who you're just not able to quite cut out all the way, and so it just kind of exists the way that it does. So I don't think that there's any type of cookie cutter exact way to go about it, but for those of you, because I'm trying to hint around it because I don't know who watches this, but like for those of you who find yourself in those type of situations, just know that you're not alone. Know that you're not crazy, that you're not selfish, that you are not anti in those type of ways by deciding to center your goals and yourself more during a space and time which you so desperately need it. And those who don't get it maybe just don't deserve to be there. And that doesn't matter what position that they play in your life. Let me just say that. Do eyes really quick and then put on lips and we'll be wrapping it up. So for eyes, they sent me over 2 of their eye tints. And then there's the black. And so I'm gonna do a wing with the black, and I'm gonna just center this pink one onto the center of my lid and just like blend it out. And this stuff like dries down so fast. You have to move as soon as you put this on your lid. Girl, start blending. Do not give this no time to really sit in there. And I'm kind of blending it upwards into my brow bone as well, because I really like the highlighted effects, the glow throughout my face. I'm really loving that. So I'm gonna do the same thing to the other eye, and then we'll do eyeliner or the liquid eye tint. And it may look like I'm putting a lot of pressure, but I'm not. We're just kind of like swiping really delicately. You don't want to go to town in your eye. And then so that's the finished look. I think this is so pretty. Next we're gonna go in with their black. So for their black, it's gonna be a little different for me personally. I've seen some girls be able to use it and smudge it across their eye and do the whole like smoky eye. That'll be for another day. I'm not doing that today. We're gonna go for just a really like pretty holiday glam look, like holiday soft glam look. So anyways, this is the brush. So I'm gonna put a little product onto the brush, and then I'm gonna just like take the wing, and I like to make sure that it's centered, and I'm gonna just do this. And a little goes a long way. I don't know how you can see how sharp it is. I'm gonna take that same brush that I blended the pink tint with and just kind of smudge this one out. I'm gonna drag the liner out a little bit further, and then I'm gonna kind of like wisp it up, because I'm gonna smudge it. Okay, so now I'm going to do the other eye, because you guys just see me do this one. So I'm gonna do the other side. I'm gonna take that same brush. I'm gonna just do a little pat again, and we're gonna create that wing. And then we're gonna buff some of this, we're gonna buff some of this under the eye as well. And I'm just trying to get my bearings by myself. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing. And I just like to make sure they'll be even, so I just double check what it looks like. And what's funny is that when I first was learning how to do makeup as a teenager, one of my favorite things to do always was eyeliner. I loved eyeliner. Teenagerisha, ooh. Let's see. Okay, so yes, I smudge that out. That looks good. And then we're gonna take that same pen, and I'm trying to show you that it still has black on it. This is a super pigmented product, and a little goes definitely a long way. So this is easy. We're gonna just go under into the waterline, and I'm gonna just like put it close, and then just take it about halfway down the line. And I'm going to do the same with this side. are done with eyes just like that. The last thought that I had, because I've been chatty patty with you guys today, the more aligned you become with yourself and your goals, and I know this might sound selfish, but the more you begin to be more aligned and accountable to you, the easier it is to go through the process of following through, to go through the process of learning routines that work for you, that you're able to sustain. Like, it begins to be harder to break promises, to break commitments, to break routines for yourself, the more in love with you become. Because it's like, I can't let her down. I don't want to let this person down. She deserves this. And I think that that's like the best part of like development, is like being like, damn, I didn't even have to think about that. Like, that was easy. Choosing me right now was so easy. You know, like centering people in my life who see me, choose me as well, was easy. It's hard to be around people who don't. It's hard for me to make decisions that don't positively impact me first. What? And that's married or not. I'm married, happily married, love my man down, and it's still Risha first. Get what I mean? Like, I just wish you so much love this year, and I feel it coming. 2024 is going to be a really good year. Mascara. So first, let me do this mascara first. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry, you guys. This is their Eyes to Kill mascara. And I'm going to just like touch up the bottom row of my lash line. Another thing that I was going to say regarding this makeup is that I don't want to set it with anything. I'm not going to use any setting spray. I just really like the finish as is. I'm not going to use setting spray. So I did two weird things. I did no real primer. I just did skin prep. I mean, if you want to count the milk, then sure, I used a real primer, but not really. And then I'm not setting my face. Like, who is she? Who is she? Bottom mascara for me is one type of things for some days. I love it. I adore it. It's a perfect addition. And then other days like today, it's kind of just like, it's just there. So I'm going to just take off this lip oil I have on right now. A compact mirror so I can be able to see myself and not overline. And I'm going to go in first with the deepest shade. This is Juvia's Place in Cola. And then I just followed up the brownie over top Cola. And so my lips are just super brown now. I love a brown lip liner. Dark brown. So pretty. And now I'm going to go in with the... Where are you at? It has a red lid, so I was looking for pink. I'm going to go in with the Lip Power in shade 110. I'm going to just pat that on my lips, and then I'll go over it with the gloss. That is so pretty. I almost don't even want to put no gloss on. I'm telling you guys, I'm on a roll today. It's really giving by 2023. Okay, I'm gonna get the lid, and I think we'll chill on gloss today. I think that this is going to be the final look.